welcome to the Hungry Meeple, a podcast about making connections with friends and family through food, games, and drinks. And today we're going to be talking about Galactic Cruise, a game published by Kingston Key and by first-time designers TK Wing, Colton Thompson, and Denin. How do you pronounce that?
Northcott?
I think so, yeah. Group of first-time designers. First of all, thank you, Paul, for letting us have your copy of the game so we can play for it. We heard so much buzz about this game in 2025, and I also honestly I wanted to try it out. So thank you, Paul, for kindly teaching us the game, letting us have your copy, and then proceeding to destroy us on the first couple of games. So thank you very, very much. But as always, we're going to put this away for now. Thank you, Troy. And as always, we receive our guests with a drink. And today we have the Fernet Fizz. Cheers.
Don't spill any on this game.
It's not ours, right?
Yeah.
Troy going for the second try, making sure. Is it as good as the try or?
It feels. I actually like this better. It feels a little bit not quite as strong as some of the other flavors. It feels a little bit more balanced this time to me.
I think so too. I don't know what I did different.
I don't know either, but I like it. I think I like it a little bit better this time.
I did shield the glass. You're supposed to shield the glass. So I think there's a little bit of water in there. So I think it's just open the flavor. So. I came up with this drink. I was in charge of making the drinks today, and I wanted to have something that had the feel of luxury. You know, when I think of cruises, I think luxury. You know, having dinner with the captain, doing the captain dinner, having champagne. Actually, just being received in a cruise with a really nice flute and a champagne or a mimosa or something like that. So that's why I went with this drink, which I found in a recipe book of cocktail drinks. It also uses rye whiskey and Fernet-Branca, which is the same thing that we use for our Orloy game. So reusing what I had in the cabinet as well.
We used it for another game too, didn't we? The Fernet. Because that was
Fernet. Oh, yeah. Fernet for Great Western Trail, Argentina.
Right. Okay.
Because Fernet-Branca is the national drink of Argentina with Coca-Cola. Yeah.
That was pretty tasty.
That was pretty tasty too. So
yeah, it definitely feels like a signature drink you'd find at like the cruise ship bar or something. You know,
that's signature drink for yeah. Excellent. What do you guys think? What do you guys think of the Fernet and the rye combination again?
I really like it today. It had last time it was good, but it wasn't quite my style or my drink, and I was like, okay, this is all right, you know. But I feel it's just better balanced today, and I really like it.
Maybe I was just more careful with the measurements.
Maybe.
Well, you know, it takes a couple tries to get it refined.
Yeah, that's true. So. That's true. Yeah. Beautiful.
Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah, no, it's.
Well, I'm
it
glad.
Feels more like a little more refreshing.
Yeah,
this time
I agree. Maybe just put a little bit more lemon. It has lemon juice on it as well. Recipe is gonna be on the comments below. You guys can see it, and we will have a video of the drink coming up too as well. Maybe along with this video, we'll see.
That's ambitious.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Good.
So with drink in hand, we move on to table talk. In the section of this of the podcast, this is where we talk about the games that we have been playing. Does anybody wants to start?
I mean, we've been playing this.
Well, I mean, but before that, we went to AwesomeCon.
We didn't play. AwesomeCon wasn't about.
I played games. I mean, I played Plugging the Clock Tower. I played Starfinder.
How was that?
It was awesome. AwesomeCon was awesome. If you are ever,
I thought it was awesome.
Yeah, so AwesomeCon is our local pop culture convention. I wouldn't call it a Comic-Con.
No.
Yeah, kind of. It has comic stuff. It has gaming and video gaming.
Sci-fi, TV
sci-fi,
shows.
science stuff. There's a lot
Science,
of actual science talks and
Right.
other things going on. So kind of just a mismatch of geek culture of all
Right.
kinds.
That's why I call
So,
it pop
Yeah,
culture.
pop culture,
Yeah,
sure.
like a pop culture or geeky culture
Mhm.
convention. So it was great. This is the third year now that we go after Andrew here kind of tune us into it. The first time we went, you couldn't make it, and we bought your tickets. Remember?
Right.
So and now we go every year. So no, it was great. We play Starfinder, which is the RPG for Pathfinder, the sci-fi one. The kids really, really liked it. I really, really liked it. The people running in Nova Pathfinder Society. If you're listening, thank you so much. You guys did a great job running everything that we played. So there we go. And then we played Blood in the Clock Tower. First time playing that one, we played it 3 times. That's how much the kids liked it. Honestly, they really, really like it. So blood. My goodness, Blood in the Clock Tower is a social deduction game with roles, hidden roles, right? So and there is, it's just like werewolf. It's a werewolf type game. Just like you have werewolves and people that work with the werewolves, here you have the imp or the demon and people that work with the demon, and then you have the townfolk people. And the townfolk people, they are the good guys, right? So at night the demon kills one person, and during the day the town people actually gets to kill somebody else trying to get to the demon. Now, when you die, you're not out of the game, which is kind of nice, So you can still trade information, and throughout the night, there are certain characters that actually get information from the game master as well. So,
and how many people were playing those? 'Cause
we
I
played
walked by some
12.
of the rooms, and it seemed like there was a lot of people in there
Yeah,
in each game.
I think, I don't know how much the maximum is. I think it's 15, but it could go all the way to 20. But we certainly played a 12-player game of it, or I did, and a 15-player. And then my kids actually play by themselves with other people because I was kind of tired at that time. Another one, which I think is 13 or 14 people. So, it was a lot of fun. Daniel and Adrian, both of them, they really, really like the social deduction games. We played Words a lot. Certainly, we played 2 Rooms and a Boom last year, and I was kind of hoping to play it again, but they didn't have it this year in Awesome. But we got lucky to play Blood in the Clock Tower, which I think the kids were too little to play before. So now they're in that age when they actually understand what they're doing. They can talk, because it requires that level of. It's not so much about understanding their roles, but actually knowing how to play that type of game. So that was my experience with Awesome. What was your experience?
So I didn't really do any of the gaming there. I did go walk through the board gaming section and kind of just check it out. I bought one copy of the new Lord of the Rings.
The trick-taking game?
Trick-taking.
Nice.
So I wanted to kind of extend that along because that's a fun one.
Yeah,
Otherwise than that, kind of, visiting a lot of the panels, just doing some of the science panels, just exploring the show floor. My kids were doing a lot of the art competitions and stuff there, so they like doing that and learning how to draw from actual comic,
professional
professional artists, which is really cool. So it's always just a fun time just looking around and everybody in costumes and seeing the celebrity panels and stuff and authors panels and whatnot, and see how behind the scenes on those industries and whatnot is a really cool thing. So
yeah,
I had fun. I was only there one day.
Okay.
So I only went on
this was
Sunday.
your first time, right? So
yeah, it was first time, so I wanted to check it out. And I don't know that Sunday was the best day to go, other than for the reason why I went. There didn't seem to be as much going on.
Agreed.
On Sunday.
It is a shorter day.
Which was fine. I went. My daughter went. She loves to dress up in her cosplay stuff and hang out. So, and she even though we didn't do a whole lot, she said she wants to go back next year. So
excellent.
Hopefully, plan a little bit more ahead. I think I bought my tickets like 2 or 3 days before the event because mainly to go to the Firefly panel.
Right.
That was like if that hadn't been going on, I probably wouldn't have gone this year. I might have waited, put it off again. But we did have a good time, and the Firefly panel was, fantastic.
You got to hear the new show announcement live.
Right. Yeah, I got to be there.
Fun.
Almost the entire cast was there, and
Yeah.
just a huge room full of Firefly fans, which is
It's always
just
fun,
crazy
right?
after
Yeah, hang out
so
with
many
other
years.
geeks. Yeah, and only 17 episodes.
13, I think.
13? Okay, it's something along
Something
those
like-
lines. Not even two
Initially,
seasons. Or,
aired out of order
Right.
initially, and I think that's probably one of the reasons why it actually does have such a huge fan base is because it just didn't get to finish its story.
Yeah.
If it had had 2 or 3 seasons and kind of made it through and had a kind of a more proper ending,
Right. Resolution.
it
we're
might have
done
just
with the story.
Yeah,
It
there'd
was
still
great,
be fans
that's it, yeah.
probably, but
Mhm.
I think there's just so many people that just really wanted more that's what they've held on to. And I mean, they have the brown coat ball every year. It's just a whole
Right.
a weekend of Firefly convention
Yeah.
essentially.
Yeah.
But this was great because almost the entire cast was there. I think it was just missing Adam Baldwin and Ron Glass, who passed, but
Right.
Adam Baldwin wasn't there. But it was awesome. It was just to be there and got a good seat to listen to the announcement, and that was fun.
Beautiful. Yeah, I'm glad. I didn't get to see you or you.
I saw your family.
Yeah,
Part
so
of
you're
them.
so excited that
Right.
she actually told me she didn't recognize your daughter
Yeah,
on
all
cosplay.
dressed
She's like,
up,
"What? That's her."
Yeah, she had the wig on and everything.
Yeah, she's got her whole makeup and wig and outfit and everything. Yeah, she loves it.
I told Daniel because it was the con theme this year was both Doctor Who and Firefly, and we love Doctor Who here here, and Daniel dressed up as Matt Smith, the 11th Doctor, for Halloween, and it's a simple cosplay, and he nailed it. He had everything. It's like I told him, why don't you just do it? No, I don't want to do that.
Even one of the doctors there, Sylvester McCoy.
Yes.
Is that Sylvester McCoy? No, that's not right. Is that right? Oh my goodness.
It was one of the doctors. I don't remember.
Yeah, but there's one of them was there.
I thought about going to the panel. I ended up not doing it, because I wanted to do the other stuff. But it was fun. We did a D&D improv Friday night. Very last thing, I think it started like at 9 p.m. and it ended at 10. Yeah, but we just ended our D&D session or something. We ended something. And let's go over there. The kids were kind of hesitant at the beginning, but oh my God, they had so much fun. It was
And that's kind of when they you take the audience votes or something
at the
and
beginning.
they do
Yeah. At the beginning, it's like give us a curse, and they played it into the improv. They were great. Yeah. So I really enjoyed it, especially with the kids, just having that time to spend just with them, and we played games together. We went to shows together, and now we have this common experiences so quality time, family, I guess, the convention. Yeah. To the point that now I'm really considering going to PAX U just to do the same thing with them.
That's a different. Are there a lot of panels Well, there's a lot.
There
of
are
stuff
some
downstairs. Yeah,
And the downstairs is all D&D.
all the D&D.
Yeah, there is a lot of D&D. Yeah.
There's a lot of that. There's a lot of stuff we've never really.
No, where was the board games?
Yeah, I think the first year we checked out a couple things down there.
We
like went to a
did the
mini
paintings.
thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, normally it's just all upstairs in board games, and
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
I'll go. I'm gonna find somebody to work for though.
Okay, fine. Any games that I know one, we play Hummingbirds by the same designer as Tacta. Which, do you remember his name?
No.
Yeah,
no,
I'm
I should.
sorry.
I met him real quick at
the Awesome Con.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, Hummingbirds. That was great. Actually,
That was fun. You didn't get to play this one.
Anytime a game with sand timers comes out, I get a little hesitant now after some of the games you've.
Ramon loves the sand
I
timer.
do love
after
a
some of
good
your sand timer
timer.
games. I've gotten a little. I got a little like
PTSD.
No, let's not go that far, but yeah. But no, Hummingbirds.
Trauma. Let's just call it trauma.
Hummingbirds that was great.
Yeah.
I think that actually
You want to explain what the game is?
Oh my goodness. So you have sand timers that have different amounts of sand.
So hold on a second. So the setting, right, is that hummingbirds know when the flower have enough nectar, so they know to go to that flower and wait.
Yeah.
Or until So go ahead. Knowing that.
So your sand timers are placed in tubes in the flowers that you can't see, and you're putting your hummingbird on top of them on one turn, and on a future turn you can pull up the sand timer to see if it's time. And if it was time, then great, you collect the points, flip the sand timer back over, and then somebody else can go on it again. If it wasn't time, then you have to pull your thing off and you don't get any points, and someone could see that it's really close to empty and jump on it with their hummingbird. But it's not real time exactly, because you're not like all taking turns at the same time. It's
right.
But it's still turn based.
It's
still just one turn,
mm-hmm.
but it's quick. Because you can't pause. You're not supposed to pause.
Right.
So it's just place, lift, or pull it off, and so it's just you just keep doing that, and it ends. When it's a certain number of flowers. One flower is empty. Points because they all
every
have
time you lift it and you get it's
success.
You get a token of that color. Right. Different colors, different amount of
amount of time in the sand timer. Right. Lower sand timers are worth less points. The higher ones are worth more points. So.
Yep.
No, it was really fun, and I'm pretty sure that the next day when I was like, "Oh, hey, let's play a game,"
because your wife played,
right? She was like, "Oh, we're not playing hummingbirds again." I'm like, "I don't have that." Yeah. And she's like, "Well, why not?" And I was like, "Oh,
we didn't get it.
I didn't know."
Yeah,
I'll fix that.
Yeah.
Well, we played that other game.
I wish. Yeah.
The other game we played that night.
Yeah. What was it called?
That fishy, squishy, crusty, quirky.
Yep.
It's an okay game. It's fine.
Yeah.
I got it on sale. It was great. It was, a little game. I played it with Samantha, and then I played it with you guys, and then I played it with Adriana, my daughter, and my wife again, the next day, and everybody's enjoyed it. It's not as much fun as hummingbirds for sure,
right?
But it was a fun little game. So we've played that a handful of times this week. It'll probably go on the shelf and I'll never see it again, but it's okay.
It's one of those games it's just a card game. You can bring in. It's easy to learn, right?
And I sometimes you pick those up and I'm like, $10, let's say, and if we play it 3 or 4 times and everybody had enjoyed themselves, or even if they didn't,
right?
You still spent some time, like you say, you spent some time together. Maybe it's shared pain because you hated the game. Maybe you had a little fun.
Yeah, this one wasn't pain.
No, it was. But I mean, even if you don't like it,
right.
You're like, okay, well, people spend more on a coffee.
Yeah.
So it's sometimes I pick those up even if I don't think they're going to be that great. But like level 10, that one was.
Let's talk about level 10.
Didn't we talk about that in the last one?
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
We play level 10 and we figure out finally the actual rules of playing level 10.
And we think we won twice, I think, after that.
I don't like it anymore.
We'd have to play it a couple more times to see if we still win.
We play
it on hard mode.
I guess.
That's true. You can you can take out some of the pauses.
And you can?
Yeah, easy mode is with 3 pauses.
I didn't know that. Okay. Because we play with people that never played before and still won the game.
What?
And we played with.
Was that first night at game night?
And then we lost 2 though. I think we came within 1 card of losing on one of the games.
But we won.
No, I mean we lost. It would have been a win if one person had the last card available, but it was.
I thought we lost.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought we won.
I think we played a couple times and we won 1 and we lost 1. So.
Okay.
So we got to play it a couple more times with that one slight rule thing that we had missed, that I had missed.
I honestly feel that it is too easy, but I guess there is a hard mode, which I didn't know. And the fun was the challenge of it.
We just have to see if we just got lucky.
Yeah.
Following the actual rule.
That's fair. Yeah.
Which is weird because the rule makes it more restrictive.
Yeah. It feels like it would be.
But I think it just kind of forces you to do something that probably needs to be done.
Yeah, right. So. Right. The fact that's what I was thinking. We didn't discover that we were supposed to be doing that. Somebody told us. And then
I think I just read the rule again and realized it
No, that's fine, but it is just a strategy, really. It's a strategic choice that you're making, and the fact that we didn't even try it, we didn't arrive at it. It to me it feels like here's the solution of the puzzle. in the rules, this is the solution, and because else it's impossible.
And maybe that's why they say you can change the number of pauses that you get.
Sure.
They're like, hey, if you with 3, it's on easy mode, and if you play correctly, you got a good chance of winning. Maybe it's like 50-50. Who knows?
Right.
You take away 1 or 2 of those. I definitely feel if you took away 1 or 2 pauses, because we barely made it.
Definitely.
With the we made it, but like it's 1 card either way, we might have lost. So you take out 1 or 2 of those, and it could be back to how we started with it being being difficult.
Tough. Yeah.
But that was just another random pickup, and we played.
Yeah. I mean, if I see it again, you paid what, $7?
Like $7-8. Yeah, something.
If I see it like that, I'll pick it up. It's a fun game, small.
Yeah.
Easy to teach, as evidenced by the fact that we have 2 new people. Here's how you play it, and they were able to follow along. So
there's another one, Duck. Is it Duck and Cover?
Duck and Cover.
Duck and Cover is the other one we've been playing. We played a bunch recently.
Yeah. We played Moon Colony Blood Dash.
Oh yes,
I didn't.
You didn't get to play.
No, I didn't get to play that.
What do you think of that one?
That was interesting. Very bloody with people dying all the time. I guess the game resolves when
one
collapses,
colony collapses.
Right?
That's right.
So,
Yep.
So yeah, it was an interesting kind of.
And this is
diving into
right. It's a deck building game, but it's a communal deck that everybody's building, and then you add stuff in there that is just more difficult, more like more people die, space is dangerous. It seems.
Yeah. But you do have stuff that you put in there. It's like it's just for you or whatever,
right?
Which is kind of interesting. But it's definitely a cool take on the deck building game where everybody shares the same thing, and then also kind of a cool take on the survival pet factor where you almost know that the place is going to fail.
Yeah.
And nothing you can do.
Yeah. I read about it and I wanted to play it. So I got it. And I want to play more. Because we only did the one play. And that was my first play as well. So, yeah.
We played Flip Tunes a few times.
Yeah, that's fun.
That on BGA.
Yeah.
A bit too.
I really like that one too. Flip Tunes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
very fun game.
Another deck builder with a slightly different twist.
Yeah.
Because it is a communal.
It's interesting because it really is a tableau builder.
Right.
But you are resetting the tableau every time.
And you're building your deck though. You're adding and getting rid of cards throughout the entire.
But ideally,
game.
you would only have 6-8 cards in your deck or so because you don't want anything left in your deck.
No, that's right.
Right.
Yeah.
So. But if you have cards that stack on top of other cards, you want more. As many that stack.
Right. It's fun.
That's fun.
How did you even find out about the game? Somebody told you.
I don't remember because I'd ended it or I'd had it on my in stock notification a long time ago, or not long. I mean, but last year or something. And then all of a sudden, I got the notification and I was like, I don't know why I put this one on there. So I asked some friends and they're like, oh no, that's a really great game. So I assume maybe one of them
told you,
mentioned it or something. Yeah, like, hey, have you ever? And then it showed up on BGA too.
Okay.
So it was like, well, they say it's good. I had a notification set and it's on BGA. I think you had an order coming. So
yeah.
Just
added
it over there.
Yep.
It is. It is a lot of fun. I haven't played that one with the family yet, although I think I think that would be a good one for him too.
Agreed. Yeah.
I'm trying to get more of those more advanced games
with the family.
As my daughter gets older,
right?
Get some so that she can play ones that are that do take longer, especially as she gets older. I mean, right, she's still attention span for a game.
Right.
That's fine
for her age.
For her age, it's fine. But if I can find a game that has her interested and is a little bit longer, I try to get her in there so we can.
Cool.
Because eventually she's gonna have to play
TI4
and spend 8 hours playing a game.
Eventually, she will want to. That's the goal.
But I mean, a game like this. I mean, I love playing it, but I'm not gonna. She's too young. Obviously, I'm not gonna. Well,
this one.
Yeah.
Galactic Cruise.
She's not gonna play. Last night was a long night.
It was.
I don't know how that happened.
And that was our 4th time playing it.
Yeah, third in
Third time?
person.
In person.
Yeah, 'cause it took what? We
started
started
2
around
hours?
7.
We started close to 7, or did we start a little after?
Maybe
I
a
think it
little
was like
after.
3.5 hours it took to
And
get through the game.
I
Because
think
we
we
were done like at
11.
10:30. Yeah.
But I left
11-ish?
at 11:30ish.
Oh, okay. So
we were
maybe
done
at
by
11. We probably started
So
closer to 8.
3
still,
hours.
yeah.
And we all knew it didn't feel that long,
No?
actually.
Yeah.
It
And we all
felt-
knew there was no teaching.
Well, I mean, it depends on what you
We're gonna talk about
consider
that.
teaching.
We're going to talk about that when we
But
talk about the game.
yeah, it a lot of like, oh, what can I do again, or like
Yeah.
trying to remember the rules. We
Right,
we all knew the rules. We all took our turns. It moved. It felt like it moved pretty quick, but it was still 3 hours,
Yeah.
which
yeah.
that's a good sign,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
You don't
That
it
it
doesn't
felt-
feel like 3
right,
hours.
right. Cool. So I guess with that, we're done with table talk, and we can move on to the main event, our main course, so to speak, Galactic Cruise. So let's cut here because I need to get the questions, the discussion.
How do you rate the cabin experience?
How do what?
How do you rate your cabin experience? What did you think of the food quality?
You need an exit.
Yes,
Happy face.
exit survey.
Yeah, happy face.
He prepares these questions in advance and doesn't prepare us.
I know.
Well, that's the
Doesn't
whole point of
doesn't
an
seem fair.
interview. You know, it's like I
No,
run
I've-
this as an interview.
I've read about these things, and I feel like celebrities deserve the questions ahead of time.
No. You're not celebrities. That's the part you're mistaken.
Can you
That's where-
please provide them to my publicist?
All right, guys. So we're moving on to the main event, Galactic Cruise, again by Kingston Key Publisher. Thank you, Paul, one more time for letting us having your copy. And another thing, thank you. What?
I was supposed to say, and a great artist too.
Oh yeah, who's the artist?
Tool.
Oh, well-known artist in the. Or not only he does the art, he actually does the layout too, which is
Really?
yeah. And I think Ian O'Toole games feel like Ian O'Toole games. They have a flow to it.
All right.
Thank you, Steven, for the kind chocolate rocket chips that you brought last night when we played the game. Steven is great. Always going above and beyond and really like taking the concept of the Hungry Meeple in mind when he comes over. Apparently at work there are a chocolaterie or something that he walks by every day. And because he works at space related agency, they have rockets and aliens and stuff like that he brings. So thank you, Steven. Always so thoughtful. I saved mine. I didn't eat it. Thank you, Troy, for letting me have some of your rocket chip just to show it. So thank you. There we go. So let's move on to the discussion on our Galactic Cruise. So let's start from the very first thing you see. Table presence. What's your first impression? What was your first impression when you walked in and saw it? Because it was already set up. Table. I set it up the day before. You came in and you saw the whole thing in the table.
Well, I mean, here,
Yep.
This is just
Your player board.
Yeah, 2 boards.
Yeah.
So I mean,
Half.
4-player game. There's 2 more boards out there, and then this is the end of the game. So we've got our ships too. But I mean, there's a lot out there. It's got a heavy presence.
It has table presence
Yeah,
for
for
sure.
sure. But
Yep.
it's not. It doesn't look busy.
Oh,
Like it.
okay.
I don't get the artwork
Yeah.
doesn't give me the busy feeling that some other games have given me, where things blend together and you're not really sure what's what. Like it. Now, granted, with everything out there now, with all the pieces out after the whole
It does,
game,
yeah, after
it
the
looks
game,
a little
yeah,
busier.
yeah,
But
yeah.
when you start and there's not as much stuff out there,
Right.
it doesn't look busy. to
Yeah.
me. It looks like
everything
a lot.
is clean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can definitely tell like what is play related and what it is right from a distance. To compare it to like the last one we did with the Orloy, which is beautiful art, but it was very hard to see what's going on there because everything kind of just blends together, and picking out the game elements is a little harder.
Yeah.
Whereas this, everything that relates to an actual mechanic of the game is very easy to see and pick out. and blends in with the background art nicely. So
Yeah, beautiful. Thinking back to the first time that we played, and you're done with that game. Yours was in person. I think your first time playing this was actually BGA.
yes, which about halfway through I kind of just gave up on, was clicking on stuff because I kind of got stuck and it wasn't super clear like how to get money and whatnot.
And I guess that's more of an implementation issue. The BGA part of it, or because you didn't get a proper rules explanation.
Yeah,
like
I don't know
that,
if that's
yeah.
implementation.
Right, I guess.
That's just a
It's just a heavy game. You cannot pretend to learn it by clicking through it.
No, you can't.
Then after you actually learn it,
I was going to say, I think the implementation on BGA is great, actually. There's a lot of things that it'll explain to you. It'll tell you, when you can use stuff that you may not have even thought of.
Highlights,
ask you, and if you're like, hey, wait, you're telling me I can do, where is, it'll use a show me button. It'll take you to that spot on the board.
Yeah, that show me button I wish a lot other games had because on BGA, just to kind of go off,
especially a huge game like this.
Right.
I mean, all of that and all of this you're looking at on BGA. That show me button is great. Now, I know it's just a little bit, but I think the BGA implementation is fantastic. I know that's not what you were thinking initially.
Yeah.
But it's really good. It's the learning though. It's a game that you need to be taught or watch the video or whatever. I think there's some great videos. I watched the one that Paul had sent, and he clarified a couple things that weren't in there, which that's going to happen. And he did a great job, and so did the video, and I felt pretty good. Trying to play it without that.
I didn't watch the video.
Yeah, I know. And I'm surprised you even listened when I told you how to play. Yeah. But yet somehow still second game won.
So now the very last game that we played, Andrew won, meaning that you were crowned the CEO of the Galactic Cruise Corporation. So why don't you go ahead and explain to us what this game theme is? What are you doing as an aspiring CEO?
So basically you're, I don't know, what would you say, like middle management or something, trying to work your way up, and you have a small team, and you're kind of mimicking a corporate environment where you're networking between things, developing technologies. Some of the stuff you do might actually help other people in the company. It's not necessarily just for you, although you do get rewards for doing it. Like if you fill up the supply silo, you get a reward for it, but then those supplies are available to other people. Or you can be the marketing guy and advertise for a cruise that, somebody else might take or whatnot. Do it for your own or whatever, but there's always rewards for doing whatever, even if it helps somebody else, which is a lot of it is you're doing something which gives everybody else opportunities, but you get a reward for it. Like if you fill the cards here or whatnot, you get a reward, but then there's good stuff for other people to take, which is kind of...
And the rewards are the resources, right? Money, food, oxygen, fuel, reputation, and points.
Ads.
Oh, and ads and points. ads and money are a type of currency. I think everything else is kind of like another currency. But and points. There's this anyway, so you were talking about that. Mechanically, this is a worker placement game action selection. You start with 2 workers. You can upgrade your board to unlock 2 more workers that are your, what are they called? Do you remember?
Experts?
Experts, yeah. And the experts have like a special power that is also changes with every game, or you can make it so that it changes with every game. Does it feel like running a corporation?
I've never run a corporation, but it feels like all the elements fit together that make sense for the theme of running the corporation.
Okay.
I've never run one, so
what you think
couldn't
you will
tell
feel
you.
like, I guess.
But like all the different things that you're doing feel like what you would do for a space cruise. I don't know.
Right.
We don't have space cruises either,
But
but
we
but
have
like
regular cruises,
going on a regular
right?
cruise. Yeah. I mean, it's great. I do really like the way that that all the things work together, and the way that they explain the theme of how some of the things work together. It feels really good. And I mentioned it last night, like even not knowing like I'm not going to win because maybe you messed something up or it just wasn't things weren't working right with my strategy. Right. But I was still having fun going through all of the cruise making steps and launching my ship and everything. So it just all fits together so well that it's just a fun experience doing all of it.
So talk about what do you do? Like actions. What are the actions here?
So there's a lot of actions. You have your rocket ships that you have to get pieces for and build.
So you start with a cockpit and an engine.
Yep.
And then you have to build the inside of it.
So you start with a cockpit and engine, and you can get the blueprints for sections that you're going to put in there, and then build them. There is a way to just build them directly, but that's essentially those. Getting blueprints and building them is one. Selecting a cruise that you want to go on for your rocket ship.
That you want your rocket ship to take, which is an itinerary for anybody that has gone on a cruise.
Itinerary, right?
There you go. Thank you.
And it shows you, like what planets you're going to stop on and whatnot. And then you have the option to advertise, to bring in, to pre-sell those tickets.
And there's a queue of customers here. Depending where they are on the queue, they might need some more advertisement or less.
So you pick your cruise, your itinerary, and you can possibly advertise for it, or maybe pay a little bit more later, or not get the benefit of pre-sales. Essentially,
right? That's what it is. Yeah,
it's like a pre-sale, right? So you can still get people on your cruise if you don't do the pre-sale, but you don't get the benefit, like that Andrew had mentioned. So building a ship, getting your itinerary and your people, and then you need to gather resources for it. So there's a couple different ways to gather resources. You can build more ships. Yeah. So you can have up to 3 ships, 3 rockets that can go on the cruies. And
eventually, once you have the ships,
you're going to send them into space.
You got to launch them. That's right.
One of the things which I like to do in the game is you build those technologies out there that get you the connections like Andrew was talking about, where you have a little bit more flexibility with what actions you can do. And then those aren't technologies. These are the technologies.
Developments.
Right? Yeah. But there are technologies as well that kind of change some of your abilities throughout the game. Depending on what you're doing. Some of the basic ones just make your ship cheaper, launching your ship cheaper. But and then there's not game breaking, but rule breaking cards. Right. That I don't know what they're called. Agenda cards.
Agenda. Yes. Yep.
That are really powerful.
Yep.
And they can really help you out a lot throughout the entire game. Some feel really strong, but like I mentioned last night, some feel like they're only strong at certain points in the game, where some feel like they're pretty good throughout the entire game. But they all have a benefit, and they're multi-use cards. Right. So if you can't even use the card for its ability, you can still use it for its resource.
And there's one action in which you actually have to discard a card to even use it. Yep.
And that's the majority of the different actions, I think, that you can do. Build a ship with either the ship itself, blueprints, your cruise. Be able to do more actions.
So
hire more workers.
Right. So let's talk about being able to do more actions. To me, that's the mechanism here that stands out to other worker placement game. The network. They call it the network. You pull in your developments, which are your little cogs there. It costs money to do so. There's one particular action that you can use to put one cog there, either money or resources. And what happened is when you put a worker on an action, you can do an action of another area as long as it is connected with a development.
Right. So if I place here, I can do here. Since I have a connection, I can do these. Or I can pay for this connection to do those two.
There you go. So what do you guys think of that mechanism?
It's great, and it's different, and especially with the random setup, it's I think it's important, but Steven did a great job with one for almost the entire game. Yeah, I think he placed the last one. Like,
he beat me by
almost
2
at
points.
The end.
Yeah.
So he only had one connection, and he still he did really well. So, and I had 4 connections out there, and did not do as well. But so I don't. It's not necessary, but it feels important. especially with the random setup, because some of the actions that play off of each other aren't necessarily near each other. So if you can connect them where they work well together, then they can work well together. He did pay a couple times though to
and that's
use
the
somebody
thing.
else's action.
It doesn't lock you out of it.
Right.
You can just pay.
It can just get really expensive.
Right. And it's like Stephen only had that, and it was one of the goals was to have like those connection and technology things. So that's the other thing that's on here is the goals change.
And we haven't talked about that. In this game, there are goals that gives you
multipliers.
Points, multipliers. Yeah, point multipliers. That's right. And you're competing for them because the first person to do the goal, then it raises or makes it more difficult for the next person to do it, and so on and so forth. Right. So yeah, and they're randomized. So in this game that we played last night, the goals were related to development and technology cards. Do you want to talk about the different goals that we have played? What do you think of those? Is there anyone that's your favorite? Did you find one or another that's more difficult? Do you even ignore? I mean, clearly you did them all.
Right. I think they're not as important as you might think they are.
But you did them all and won the game.
I think they come kind of naturally as you progress through. Like,
so you're saying
you'll eventually have enough ship segments to meet the ship segment goal, or you'll maybe have enough connections to meet that goal or whatever. So it doesn't give you a overwhelming advantage in points. The most you get is like maybe 4 to 6 points per round.
In the last round, you got 8 points.
4 times, 2.
That was a 4.
4 times 2.
But it's not a huge amount of points compared to some of the other things. So
sure. I mean, you got like 30 points on your ships or something, right?
I think that throughout the game, though, like it adds up as a decent chunk of points. If you don't do it at all, you're gonna,
because we scored those 3 times.
Yeah.
Right.
So maybe not though. It feels
did them all.
Yeah, I know.
But I see what you mean that while you have to keep an eye on it, maybe the racing part, which I feel or I thought was very important, is not. Like, just make sure you're aiming for that top tier regardless.
Maybe by the end.
Right.
But yeah, so maybe the race, they're trying to get them in the first round. I think it all depends on
what they
are too, and how they work together. Maybe if you can make them work together and knock 1 or 2 of them out. I mean, in the last game, not last night, but the week before, and you and Paul were able to get that extra person in the first action, essentially, first and second action.
Yep.
That was relatively an easy goal to achieve right away, where fighting for some of them that are maybe a little bit harder and take more of your turns, maybe that's not as beneficial. If you can achieve it early, great. If not, focus on maybe something,
Yeah, I'd agree with that. If you can grab one of the early ones when it's easy, yeah, go ahead and do it. But once it kind of bumps up there, you're probably going to be overspending time trying to achieve it, that you're better off doing something else. Because it will come in time. Yeah. You can pretty easily achieve any of those by the end of the game. But
it depends.
I mean, everybody else missed one. He got all 3, and everybody else missed one, and he won. So I don't know. But there are a lot of points to be had in other ways too.
Right.
If again, depending on how things line up. I mean, I know Steven had a really great game on BGA. He said everything lined up. I don't know what lined up, but he decimated us. But there's a lot of points from other things too, from reputation, from your developments, from your ships. That it's definitely not the only thing that you would want to focus on, and maybe you don't want to focus too much on it, but I wouldn't ignore it
completely, I guess.
Because if you don't I think that if you don't at least try to achieve them, if you don't pay attention to what they are and take steps, even if it's near the end of the game, that you're going to miss out on those scoring opportunity, especially in like stage 2 and 3, or round or phase or whatever it's called.
So you hinted a little bit about that there are many ways to make points in this game, and I think to me that's the part that is more difficult to make a concrete strategy and then follow through. So what do you think, Andrew? Strategy wise, how did you plan your game at least last night? Or
I wanted to get ships in there as early as I could because that gives you bonuses that are throughout the game. It makes other things easier by taking like these launch tower bonuses off. Gets your other guys out. Plus, it gives you points every time, and you get a lot of points from launching a ship. You get the cockpit points, you get points from landing on the planets, things like that. So that was something that I did, I think, wrong in my first game. Was I spent a little bit too much time trying to like build stuff and not actually just getting a ship out to get things kicked off. Because I think that's where the majority of the points came from, was having those ships launched. And collecting the stuff on the planets. I went for mostly short cruises that I could get out, get over with, and then get my guy back on the ground to do something else. So.
Right. You did something similar.
I tried even faster, and I think that I just wasn't able to get the itineraries of the cruises to make it work, and maybe being right after you made that what was really hard. But I even tried smaller ships to try to get them out faster. Yeah. So less time to build and get the ship out with just less people on it and less activities, but trying to get the ship out faster. But I couldn't support long cruises doing that just with the way I was doing it. And so when there were no short cruises, my ships weren't doing anything and I couldn't line things up. And that was fine. I still, like I said, had fun doing it all, but I just couldn't line up my ship with the type of cruise or the planets that I needed to go to be able to maximize it. I couldn't get anything to line up with that. And I said I tried even shorter. I tried to do a faster, like build launch thing to see if that worked. And this time it didn't. But I'll try it again because I want to see if I can, if more short ones come out there.
I do think you want to have a full-size ship to launch, though, because...
what? Say that again.
I think you want to have a full-size ship.
Like three, not
three
two
segments.
Okay.
Because if you only have one person in there, you're basically cutting in half all the bonuses you get. Plus, you get a penalty for leaving.
Well, you don't have to. Well, you don't have to take the penalty because you don't have to advertise the other person.
Right.
But
or you don't have to advertise at all.
And that's what I was going to hope to do. Was not even advertise. I was literally going to try to build from here, and to not advertise, but I couldn't line the things up. Either the pieces that I wanted were too expensive, or there were no short cruises that matched my ship type to be able to make the bonuses. Even with one person, I wasn't getting bonuses because I literally just didn't. Even though I only had one person, I still didn't get bonuses because
you're still gonna
didn't line up.
You're still gonna have 1 times 2 at least.
Right, but and if you can get the ship out more, if you can repeatedly launch it, potentially even a small ship.
Right.
But it didn't work for me, and you won, so I could totally be wrong. But I'm gonna try it again because I want to see if I can get it to work.
So let's see. So this game being I think this game really is 2 things at once, right? One is the worker placement, action selection, and then is your engine building. This is literally your rockets is literally your engine, and you want to be able to run your engine as many times as you can because that is where you're gonna get most of your points.
But you can, I think, and we mentioned it last night, is that we want to be able to run as many times as we can. But at least like for me and for Steven, we talked about that we want more time to run the engine.
Right.
By the time, I think I did only end up launching each ship 1 time.
Oh, really?
And
that was for me too.
Yeah. Okay. And so like, that's only...
I had 2 ships. I launched one twice and the other one once.
And then you missed your 3rd ship. So really, you still only launched 3 ships, essentially.
Correct. Yeah.
I launched 3 ships. Andrew launched 3 ships. I don't remember how many Steven launched, but I want to launch them more than once. I would like to be able, if I'm building the 3 and I'm trying for that strategy anyway, I want to be able to launch them for, maybe 4 or 5 ships to really get those engine points going.
I think that's a kind of
Yeah,
a fallacy
3.
of the game is it looks like it should be an engine builder, but it is
Right, and
Interesting.
that might be where it was just kind of my mistake again of just feeling like, well, if I do this, maybe I can
Me
launch
too.
6 ships or
Mhm.
whatever, and get some of those points and miss out on some other points, but do this, and and maybe it's just not designed for that to happen.
Right.
Maybe
I
3 or
guess.
4 ships is the most that you should expect to launch, and that's just the way it is.
Yeah.
But I want more.
I launched 3. You launched 4.
I launched 3.
Steven want
3.
I launched 3. That was a mistake. Yeah, that was just an
So-
extra cube.
Yeah. That's not, and same thing. I just counted the cubes. He launched 3 as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
and we were first and second launching 3, and you guys launched 4 and still were.
No. We didn't launch
we
4.
both launched 3.
Everybody launched 3.
It's so
There's an extra cube there
there's an
for
extra-
there's just one extra that was just
for the
sitting somewhere.
camera.
Okay.
So yeah, I want more though.
Mhm.
I want a little bit longer to be able to do it, and I think that, and I'm sure they play tested it, so it probably wouldn't work. But launching a ship takes your whole action,
Yeah.
so you don't get to do anything else.
There's
I
one
want-
card, one agenda card that lets you do it.
I think that's your second. Yeah, it can be your second action.
Correct.
So you do. I want to be able to launch and do an action,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and the game would need to be longer because it would end faster if you could
Sure.
do that. But I want to be able to launch and then do something else to start getting
Maybe
my
like
other ship to be able to launch.
yeah, something that we haven't talked about. When you put all your workers, the only way to get workers back is by calling a meeting. That's what they call it. And when you call a meeting, you do get one action.
Mhm.
So something similar to that. When you launch, you also get an action based on your development. I don't know.
And I want more. I guess
Which
that's
is
not a bad, and that's not a
right?
bad thing.
It's a good complaint, I guess. Yeah.
But I'd love to be able to have a 4th round where now I'm launching my ships each a second time, or
Right,
maybe 2
right.
more, whatever.
Because what happens too is that you are dropping things in the planets that you go to, and that makes those planets more valuable. So
Yeah.
you want to go visit them again and get a chunk more points.
Yeah, so you want to build the engine and repeat the things.
yeah.
And it feels like you don't really have time, and
Yeah.
maybe I'm just playing wrong.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But it's fun. I like the whole thing about it, of all the different things the steps that go into doing it all. I just want more.
What about player interaction in this game? We
Um,
talked a little bit about that last night.
I mean, Andrew mentioned that some of the things you do can benefit people. But I mean, you do have to, you don't have to, but you will often be bumping somebody off of a space that you want to
Right.
go to, which then gives them a small benefit. You can't bump yourself off, which is slightly different.
Unless
than,
you upgrade that.
Yeah. But,
In the blue.
is it that one?
Yep.
Okay. Well, but for most of the game,
Yeah.
You're not
you have to
bumping- you-
launch a
you-
ship to a blue planet
yeah.
with a blue dude.
You can't knock your own person off of a site that you want to go to. And sometimes that's frustrating because you really want that action and nobody's bumped your guy off. So now you can't do that action. Now, if you have the connections or you have the money to pay for it, sure. So you have that you have to do, though. But you don't have to pay attention to that on VGA. Once it gets back to your turn, it just says, hey, you had 1 or 2 dudes knocked
right.
off, get your bonus for it, and then take your turn. So
Mhm.
you don't actually have to pay attention to that until it's your turn
It's your
again.
turn. Yeah.
At least the way they implemented there, and it seems like that
No,
would be
no,
fine.
no. Yeah.
If you
yeah.
just came, if I got up and I came back and I had 2
it's
people
more about
here,
it's more about it's like this person is high on points or they have a good engine going or whatever. You maybe don't want to bump them because
Right,
you don't want to
right.
give them that.
Which is a cool thing about the networks. So let's say I was wanting to do this action. I have a choice. I could bump here. I can bump there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could even go over to that side.
and not bump anybody. Yeah.
So the connection way, I think, is a really cool interaction. It's not just like, if I want to do this, I have that spot.
Yeah.
I have every action here on the board always has 3 spots you can put your worker as a choice. So
As long as you have
long as you have
either
the
the money to pay
right.
Yeah, or the connection.
or the connection, the network development.
Yeah.
Go
No,
ahead.
I agree. It's it's different. There's a few different things about that. The being able to do things from multiple spots and being able to choose, like, okay, do I want to bump you or Andrew, or if there's an empty spot, I can just do that instead. If I have it's a
little bit of strategy to it too, because like, let's say Troy has all his workers out here, but he was about ready to launch a ship, and I don't want him to launch that ship. I want to get mine out. It's like, okay, I'm gonna bump Ramon instead.
Yeah,
so he has to call a meeting and can't do the thing. So there's looking ahead to see who's got what going on.
It's rubbing it in.
Yeah, and while I know nobody was really paying attention to that, I needed one more ad to get a bunch of points on a planet. Nobody bumped me. I was kind of like, I got 2 people out there. Somebody has to bump me. Nobody bumped me, so I was never able to get the ad through the.
Well, that was just sheer luck on our part.
I know, yeah.
Because you can't say that we weren't helpful to each other during the game.
No, I agree. I agree
that be like to maximize some points for other people sometimes, and
it just so happened that nobody needed to go to any other places, or there was some other place that was completely open. And if it is open, very likely you just go there because why?
And it does allow for some like negotiation with people too.
Sure,
like,
bump me now.
Bump you now, but remind me in the next turn.
If I don't have to next time, I still will bump you. Yeah,
which feels just like middle management.
Yeah, exactly.
Isn't that usually like I'll stab you in the back?
No, there's plenty. Scratch my back and scratch yours. You know, as a middle manager myself. Excellent. I will say the goals is really where it pushes more of that player interaction. You are trying because you're competing, at least I felt that I should be competing, like with the cog, with the developments and technologies. That one I was able to get it right before you, because I was trying to get to it and then I almost forget it. Thank you, Troy, for reminding me.
Sorry, Andrew, that one was an accident.
I did remind you of that card. Remember that you were gonna get? It's like, weren't you gonna use the agenda card to hire your dude? Oh, right. So, and that's my main problem with heavy games like this, that I really just lose track. The next shiny thing is like, okay, so
and that like changed my strategy, because I was gonna get that at the next turn, but then I was like, okay, I could pursue the next level, but that's going to set me back like 2 or 3 more turns to be able to do that. So I was like, okay, I'm going to abandon that. I'll get it eventually. I'll move on to something else.
You're welcome.
Yeah. You never know. You might have lost then.
Maybe that's it.
Nope. There's a lot of important little things to at least be aware of, even if you don't focus on them. Like being aware of the goals. I think that if you don't pay attention to them at all, even if it's not until later, you're probably going to miss out on some good points that you need. The agenda cards, I know in the first game, I didn't realize how powerful they were until midway through, at least, because you guys collected a few of them, but they didn't really get used that much until we were a little bit into the game. And then I was seeing like how much, and Steven I think he had like a stack of them, and so you guys had collected some, and I'd used mine to get something, but didn't realize that a lot of them were just really
and you can
powerful.
use more than one in a turn.
So I think that keeping an eye on what's out there for those and getting some of them and seeing what they can do for you can be really beneficial.
Mm-hmm.
And then your ships, picking ships that go with either where you're already headed on your strategy or where you already are or think you're going to be going, because each ship has a different way that it scores when it's launched.
And you also get a bonus.
You get a bonus. You do get a bonus when you take the ship.
They're free,
But the points that you can get from it, from the ship itself, if they don't match up with what you've done, you're gonna possibly be missing out on a lot, because you're like, okay, well, I still have to launch the ship, otherwise it's negative points, and maybe I need this other thing from launching it, but I don't get a whole lot from it because my setup or my path didn't line up with the ship's scoring path. I think those are like the 3 you at least have to pay attention to them, to make sure you get you're not just jumbling everything together.
If nothing else, to give you a little bit of
Like a direction.
direction to follow. Yeah. Let's talk about. I forgot. You said something. I thought of something that I wanted to like continue. And I forgot. What's the most satisfying thing in this game?
I mean, having a good ship with you have a good ship with the right cabins or the right activities, the right passengers, and the right planets. I mean, you can line up everything, and
I was getting
you did some
6.
Yeah, you had a pretty good one on the last one, and then the week before I had one. I think I came in second, but I had one that was all one color. Got to use the pilot as an extra person.
Right.
Got a whole bunch of stuff.
Right.
If you can line up your ship with your passengers and your planets or your itinerary, it feels
that
good.
Cruise feels great.
Yeah, launching that ship and getting
hitting
bonus.
the space and getting the space bonuses, going to the planets, getting all those points. Yeah,
you definitely want your ship, your cruise itinerary, and the passengers on it to all match, which is a nice thing. It is also something that kind of annoys me too, because it seems like the cruises, a lot of the bigger ones, have multiple different destinations. There's several of the tiles that have multiple passenger types it accommodates. And I think that's where I want it to be something, but you can't do really mixed ship and passenger things. It has to be really, to make the most of it, it has to be all one color passenger, all one color
I know what you're saying.
Matching cruise.
Yeah.
I don't know that I
there's
agree.
Little incentive to have any kind of,
I
two
think the
different
incentive
passengers
really
mixed.
is more along the lines of being able to grab this cruise and then this cruise on the same ship.
Or I mean,
but the chances that you double launch a ship are small.
And
so
Yeah.
And then that's what I would, if I'm going to try it again, try my strategy again. But yeah, no, I don't know. I feel like it both can work. I feel like having a mixed ship, because you can get an itinerary that has, I mean, there's a blue and orange itinerary right down there. And if I had a blue and orange ship, I could also pick a blue and orange passengers. I could line everything up still, and maybe I'd only build one ship or two ships, and I don't build 3. And now I relaunch that blue and orange one again and maximize its points that way. I don't know, but I feel like it could work if you have, or like you said, with the short trips, that if I get a short purple and then a short orange, I see both sides. I definitely see how having one ship, I mean, you did it, I did it, he did it, where you have a single ship of one color, you have a planet of that color, and everything lines up, and you really do get a lot of benefits out of that single event.
It's difficult because there may not be any cruises to help you out, and there's no way to refresh the cruises at some point. So I missed out on short cruises at the beginning of this game, and at that point, I kind of got pivot and say, okay, I'm just gonna wait for you guys to launch a ship, because that's the only time when we get new cruises. And maybe that was a mistake in the sense that I waited too long to try to get for that to refresh. But
because in our first draw we had, it was like all 5s and then 2 2s.
Yeah.
I wonder if
So on the first turn, I grabbed one of the 2s, and I think Steve, no, you grabbed the other
Yep.
2.
Yeah, I grabbed the
That's
other
it.
one.
And then that kind of put everybody else behind, because you had to build up to be to one of those 5s. So
I wonder if there's a setup for a step for the cruise. I don't know if there's a, like, use these are starting cruises.
Oh, I don't know. When I said it the first time, on the first time it says randomly, so I don't think so. The only difference from the first place setup is the actions that are pre-printed.
Okay.
because and it straight up says these work well together. So we're gonna give you the best chance of having a good time, or it's not having a good time, but not getting frustrated with not being able to reach the actions that you want. Yep. Speaking of frustration, what will be the biggest frustration of this game?
I mean, there is some. I've already mentioned feeling like I want more time.
Mm-hmm.
I want to launch all of my ships more than once. With the random setup, sometimes just not being able to reach two things that work together that I want to do at the same time, and having to try to, okay, which one am I going to do this time? And now I still have to go to that one next time to be able to get it, and hope, like, especially if it's like a card, or I want to get that achievement. If I can't do both, I'm not going to get the achievement, so someone might be able to beat me to it. The only other thing is that I don't want to have to build 3 segments to hold 2 people.
Oh, right. Yeah, we did talk about this.
And I know that these aren't cabins. These are
Entertainment
entertainment sections on your ship,
right.
and between each entertainment section is 1 cabin, so that holds 1 person. Just psychologically, I'm like, I built 2 sections of my ship. I want to put 2 people in them, and the only way to put a second person in is to build a 3rd section, which requires a whole nother turn.
Yeah,
a whole nother action. And if you only have 1 ship, that means you're actually wasting part of that, because the build action lets you build 2 pieces. If you only have 1 ship and you've built 2, then you're only building 1 more in that ship, because 3 is the most you can typically have. So if you don't pick up another ship first and hope that it aligns with what you want to do next, your build means that you're only going to build 1 in this one,
right.
and that's half an action.
Yeah.
So not only do you have to
did it once.
Yeah, not only do you have to take a second action to complete your ship, you may only get half of that action.
Right.
That's probably the only thing that really frustrates me, is like, I really want 2 people on my 2-person ship, or on my 2-section ship, even though these aren't cabins.
I know, but it slows down the game. Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I do wish like these top and bottom segments were also cabinets, and you could get like 4 people on there, which would make like the multiple different types more viable and things like that too. The 2 people on the whole cruise just seems a little almost like out of theme, where there's more entertainment things than there are cabins on the ship, and
because it's a luxury cruise.
Right. But it does seem like you should be able to have more people on there, and have a different mix of people. Like with 2, you're going to want to maximize, a single theme. As I said before, I wish that you could have a little bit more of a mix of, like, the ship here has 1 cabin that's got both the family and the relaxing cruise type on it. But I would never put a relaxing passenger on here, because the rest of the cabins are all family ones. So it would be a complete waste to mix that up. Whereas if I had 4 sections, well, then it becomes a decision as like, okay, maybe I don't have 4 families available down in the cheap marketing, but there is a cheap relaxing person there. I'd be more inclined to do that than if I only have 2 to work with. And if I only have 2 to work with, I'm going to maximize those 2. So,
no, I agree with that 100%. In the cruise ships, when you go, you can actually buy those under the waterline cabins. They're much cheaper. And
under the
you're right
engine.
next to the.
You're gonna hear the engine noise, but you're still on the cruise. I like it.
And those are nuclear reactors, right? So you're right next to the nuclear reactor.
That's fine. No, they're solar powered.
So, well, I guess there are no clouds out there somehow. Beautiful.
But that's, like I said, I think that's the only thing that really, like, I just really want to put more people on a ship. I mean, I'd love to be able to launch more ships.
Sure.
But that would change so would adding more people on a ship.
Right.
It'd probably change it. Again, they probably play tested more people, or who knows.
There are expansions, and I don't know. Yeah, there are. There are 2 expansions already. I wonder if any of that adds any of that, right? Yeah. Or gives you a different mix of crew lines. Yeah. That itineraries. I'm sorry, that makes it such that it's easier to launch. You know, because there's so like right now there's no threes, and I know there are threes because I think I launched one.
But those fives and fours,
They're
fours,
tough.
fives, they're hard.
Yeah,
Especially
and not only
near the
they're hard,
beginning.
and not only they're difficult to get the resources to launch such a thing, that guy, that pilot, which is a worker, is tied on that ship all those turns too, right?
Yeah,
So there is that tag which I unlocked that lets you move forward, but that's again you have to use that fuel instead of launching another ship. So I never ended up using it, which probably was to my detriment. But regardless, all right. I think that that will conclude our discussion. Final thought. Play it. Troy will play it again.
Yeah.
Andrew,
I'd definitely play it again.
beautiful.
I mean, the only thing it is a big, heavy game that takes 3 hours to play, so you need a dedicated night
Right.
to do it.
Right.
But
I'd like to only play one at a time on BGA.
Yes, please. Yes, please.
I don't know if that'll happen because different people want to play it.
Yeah,
and so
yeah.
I'm
You can always say no. You know?
I mean, I can, but then they miss the opportunity, and I don't want them to miss the opportunity to play. It is
such a great friend.
It's definitely a little confusing trying to play 2 or 3 different games because everything it can be random setup on the board, and what comes out in your ships and your passengers and your because everything changes so much that what strategy you have in one game or what plan you have is not the same.
I learned a long time ago to never do more than one instance of a game on BGA because too many times I've gone on me like, oh, that's.
All right. So
Final
with
thoughts?
that, yeah,
that-
I'm sorry. Thank you. We're talking about final thoughts. Certainly I will try it again, even though I'm suck at it. But there's a lot of things that I, just this discussion, for example, maybe not competing so badly for those. I forget what they're called, communal goals or whatever. And yeah, I mean, I know mistakes that I made at least on the last game. So, and the fact that it's in BGA, I'm sure I'll play it again.
Yeah,
so,
definitely.
with that, thank you guys for coming over, playing this game with me. Thank you, Paul, again for lending us your copy. Thank you, Steven, for being so kind and bringing something for us to make the night even better and more thematic still. If you are watching this all the way to the end, make sure you subscribe and like. Please, we're trying to grow our subscribers. So go ahead and click that subscribe button. And with that, stay hungry for
Space chocolate?
space chocolate. There we go.
Space chocolate was good.
It was good.